Being the oldest sibling, especially when there's a significant age gap, has to be one of the closest things to being a parent when you're not a parent. It's a wild thing that definitely has shaped my personality. Like being, first and foremost, being a sibling. Like birth order, having siblings, all of that plays into personality from adulthood, excuse me, from childhood into adulthood. And when I reflect on what it meant growing up, my sister and I were 5.5 years apart. I'm the oldest. Growing up as an older brother of a younger sister is a very unique experience. Not sure if you're watching this, what your family dynamic was growing up, if you had any siblings. But watching my younger sister grow, one of the greatest joys of life. One of the greatest joys. And our bond, even though we're 5.5 years apart, we are really, really close. And I don't take that for granted, not for 1 second. I know that that's a blessing and a privilege because not everybody is close to their family members, be it their parents, their siblings, extended family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, what have you. Being close to your family is a beautiful thing. Having those strong bonds that you can rely on, where they can depend on you, you can depend on them. I don't take that for granted. Do not take that for granted, not for 1 second. Being the oldest, it's funny how my sister sent me this one meme, and it was a video of somebody like stressed out, like I can't. It's like they're in disbelief, and it was something to the effect of that moment when you realize that your older sibling doesn't have an older sibling. And I thought that was really funny because from a biological standpoint, I don't know what it means to have an older sibling. I've had older cousins. I've had uh, you know an older god brother, and having that as a pseudo older sibling dynamic is cool, but I'll never know what it means to have an older biological sibling. And the amount of love and care that I provide to my baby sister. She's a grown woman, she's married, but she was my baby sister. The the love and care between us, and for her to be the recipient of that from an older sibling. And that meme encapsulating what it means to not have that as a default in life. She was like, man, that's her default. That's not my default. And that meme was just hilarious. I'm sure it's floated around in different iterations, but being in a loving sibling dynamic, it really, I truly appreciate it. And the way she and I communicate, the way she and I show up for each other, the way we hold each other accountable and gather each other up when need be, it needs to be studied. It is a very unique lived experience that only other people who have a similar dynamic can truly understand. Others can empathize with it, others can see from a distance, but it's a whole other thing when an older brother and his younger sister, or the younger sister and her older brother, are just kicking it, and just seeing that dynamic when it's a positive relationship. Nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it, bro. That's my road dog. That's my. I have so many nicknames for her, and I was about to say them all, but I'm not gonna put her on blast like that. Now, being an older sibling also is intriguing in how it shows up in my marriage. So, my wife, she has two baby sisters. The age gap varies. So, there's my wife, and then her middle sister is a 3 year age gap. I think it's like in between 3 and 4 years. And then the baby sister, my wife to her youngest sister, that's an 8 year age gap. Now, when we got married, or even before we got married, when we progressed in our relationship and we actually introduced each other to each other's families, it was the perfect puzzle pieces put together because my wife and I are both older siblings to younger sisters. So it was a natural connection where I knew how to relate to her baby sisters and she knew how to relate to mine. And it was just so seamless. And it's amazing that now, she and I have been together for 10 plus years, been married since 2023. So we're in the middle of completing year 3 of marriage. The relationships that we have as individuals, so my individual relationship with her middle sister and with her youngest, and then my wife's individual relationship with my sister, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And my wife and I talk about it often, actually. We're like, yo, what if your sisters didn't like me? Or what if, my sister didn't like you, or what have you? And how difficult that would make our family gatherings. There would be tension. I'm so thankful that we don't have that tension. And realistically, if our siblings really didn't rock with either person in the relationship early on in the relationship probably wouldn't have lasted. To be very honest, on either side, my sister would have been like, "Yeah, I don't think she for you," and then her sisters probably would have been like, "I don't think he for you. I'm not feeling it. Let's keep it a bean, keep it a stack. I don't know about all that." Now, the way both of us being eldest siblings plays out in our relationship as husband and wife, man, there are certainly days when I feel like her older brother, and there's other days when she feels like my older sister. And the sibling mentality of gathering up your younger sibling and setting them straight and talking sense into them and holding them accountable and teaching them life lessons and reinforcing those life lessons because they didn't get it the first 8 times. Yeah, we play that role for each other. It is fascinating how birth order and upbringing, but specifically birth order and whether you have siblings or not, how does that play into your romantic relationships? Because it shows up in how you interact with someone else that is in your intimate space. If you grew up with your sibling, then you were always in each other's space. If you lived in the same house, in the same, lived in the same home, grew up in the same home, then y'all are sharing the bathrooms. Y'all are, in the next room from each other, or maybe you shared a room. I don't know what your dynamic was, but you were in the same space more often than not when you were at home. So that shows up again in marriage when you're in the same space, the same household with your spouse. So the way you interacted with your siblings and your family growing up is going to spill over into how you interact with your spouse in adulthood. And being keenly aware of that is really important for our marital journey because it makes a difference. It truly makes a difference. I'm so thankful that my sister is who she is and continuing to become the woman that she's becoming. I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. And I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. She is actually one of the biggest motivators and one of the most influential sparks behind my content creation journey, specifically with short form, but then that spilled over into long form. But I'm a content creator today 90% because of my younger sister. I wouldn't be the content creator I am today without her, straight up and down, without her and without Vine. But that's a whole other story. But and within your own relationships, if you're married, think about where you may sit within your family dynamic, whether it be birth order or if you're an only child, and think about how that same thing is for your spouse. Take a closer look at how upbringing as a younger sibling or as an older sibling or as a middle child, how that plays into y'all's marital dynamic, into y'all's spousal relationship. Because there's some really dope insights in there if you know what to look for. And if you put that lens on, it changes how you interact. It changes what you react to. It changes how you approach various situations, be it conflict or other dynamics within your relationship. Yeah, so being an older sibling is dope. I do recommend. We've had a good run. That's all I can say. We've had a good run. Had a good run. I'm curious to see what other people's experiences are, though. So go ahead, sound off in the comment section if you so choose. I don't know how you found this video, but I appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you watch to the end, you gotta like it. You gotta like it. Yeah, I'm not even asking you to subscribe because you don't know me from Adam. But go ahead and at least like the video. I don't think that's too much to ask. Appreciate you. Have a blessed one. And go ahead and stay tuned for the next video that I post.